Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my fellow YouTubers. Hold on a sec. Yes, but my freaking dog. Smarty! Get under the damn bed. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Krabby McCoffee and Barky McBark-a-lot. Apparently, he's barking at nothing. I keep checking the cameras, the doors, everything. So, Moppy, shut up. It's fucking late enough in the night. You don't need to bark at nothing. Maybe the new tenant's coming and going. No one knows what the hell's going on. But to make things worse, let's just talk about. See, the dog's alerting me to something, so let me check what's going on out here. Nothing. Better than better. Okay. For all you preppers out there, today's lesson is going to be about pricing, and prepping, and more. Okay. A lot of you people say, okay, cool. So I spoke to a friend of mine for like 6 hours today on Discord. Didn't get much done. Then I went ahead and did some prep orders. And Chloe did some prep orders. And then, while we were waiting to talk, we did some more prep orders. Then we discussed the bread maker and the shopping cart we're getting. See, this is stuff that we have to talk about. And then we talked about the meal planners and everything else. So, shall we get to it? Let's do it. So, tonight we're on ribs, so they're cooling. Apparently, Chloe's being a complete... never mind. Anyways, I'm in a good mood, so... Anyways, so for me, some of you preppers out there, I had heard a story today that was amazing. A couple stories. So, apparently there's a survey place Higgins is going through, right? Every time I hear Higgins stories, it makes me think of drama. No offense. It's kind of funny, but it's serious. So, what happened? Well, he basically has been trying to get his gift cards cashed in, and they want a W-9 tax form. And he's like, no. And then he's going back and forth, and they're like, well, if you don't send it in, we're going to shut down your account or something. So I said, if they shut down the account, Higgins should just buy a case of beer, drink his sorrows away, because I don't think this company is going to budge. But you know what? He could basically be persuasive too. So, it's story time for you. So, pricing. What do you guys do? Oh, school's now in session, by the way. So you guys are standing around, you're thinking, okay, what happened? What's going on? So pricing is pretty scarce in con artistry. For one, there's people out there in the world of conning. No, we're not talking about Brother Higgins here. We're talking about stores. Now post something like 2 for $6, right? Then you walk through it. I remember 4 years ago starting living here, right? Living here 4 years ago, they had Lay's potato chips and Doritos and Fritos and Cheetos and, Ruffles, and it was all like 2 for $6, right? Now it's like 2 for $8. So, so Higgins sees this deal at his store. I think it was Majors or something. And anyways, the story goes, he went in and he saw 2 types of pretzels, Snyder brand, and it's like 2 for $6. So he goes and grabs some and goes up, and he rings up. By the way, he's living on these giant sausage ropes again. Lord, I hope he doesn't have a heart attack. I'm kind of worried about Big Brother there, okay? So he turns around and he goes up there and he reads his receipt, make sure he gets the deals. I do too. And then what happened? He finds out it was like $4.50 a bag, so $9 instead of $6, right? So I asked for the difference. They wanted him to change his food card and whatever, reverse it, put the difference on the food card. And Higgins. So Higgins opens his trap. What about the $5 scanning error, right? Lady goes in the back, comes back, so this is the last week's deal or some stupid thing, right? So then he opens his trap and everything else and screws himself out. $5 scanning error. Could add some extra cash there, but I just laughed. But it's serious. This is a topic that you got to think about as a prepper. What are you going to do when they start raising prices? I mean, look, I check the preppers list all the time, and the preppers list fluctuates. One day it's X amount of dollars, the next day it's X amount of dollars, the next day it's X amount of dollars, the next day it's X amount of dollars, right? And so the point is every day as a prepper, you got to look at pricing. Look at Chloe. Chloe's actually got a plan set up for the beginning of the month. So first, she's going to go do several meat runs. Yeah, Zoe and I were talking this morning. Sweet girl. And I secured ferry tickets, so Chloe's going to go and get meat and doctor's appointments, everything else off island. So I did my administrative duties. I did my email duties. I just didn't do my spreadsheets because I spent so long. So tomorrow...
Go ahead. You want your food now or wait?
I'll wait. So tomorrow, people, because a friend of mine's on a deadline tomorrow, no talk prep, no talk this, no talk that, the topics is going to be interesting. Okay, I got an email from Mother Pee-wee and Higgins, both about President Biden resigning possibly because of his papers or whatever. Won't going to happen. If it does, I'm going to eat my words, okay? But right now, I don't think it'll happen. Then I heard something today about Higgins was playing a video in the background on the phone, had to do with other stuff. And you could say, what other stuff? Well, let me tell you. The other stuff that Higgins was talking about was about war. They're talking about Ukraine war in 2019. 2019. Talking about getting NATO all involved to go after Russia. And then CNBC or NBC today basically posted something that the world doesn't need Russia's economy anymore. The world doesn't need Russia at all. I'm sorry, but if NBC, CBS, PBS, or whatever posted that, that's basically a real shitstorm waiting to happen when they say, oh, we don't need Russia. I mean, I'm sorry to say we do need Russia. And to a point, but it was MSNBC. We don't need Russia. Let me look at that for a second. So I saw it, and it said something. Why the world economy needs Russia? 10 minutes long, and some guy at Yale's talking about Jeffrey Sommerfield, Morning Joe, to discuss why the world economy no longer needs Russia. I don't know. Sounds pretty cheesy in my opinion, and I use that word interchangeably at times, like my underwear. It sounds pretty cheesy. So a lot of you out there have been emailing me and saying, hey, Rita, where's your video? Well, I spent 6 hours with a friend talking to me. They want to come out for the birthday, and they want an Airbnb. We found a cute little Airbnb next here on the island. Really affordable too. Big, you get your own little condo. And Chloe's
Chloe is what?
And Chloe's kind of grouchy about it. But the point is, we don't know what's going to happen, okay? So.
Oh, I need paper towels. You, Moppy, I am watching you. Moppy, don't dare. Moppy. There you go.
And so, tonight's beer time discussion is pricing, okay? Chloe also checks receipts all the time. I always literally hear her, oh, look, Rita, right now it's 2 for, I'm doing an old Biddy set, 2 for $5 for Ruffles. And then she gets it. She's like 2 for $9 or 2 for $11. Sometimes she pays full price and maybe leave the stickers on the wall. Thing is, you got to look out on what's going on, when it comes to now. Preppers thing that Higgins was watching tonight. I overheard this. England is importing 3 million eggs a day, mostly from the United States, to supply their egg needs because they are short because they lost 8 million eggs a day to egg bird flu. And yet over here, we've lost almost about 202 million birds. And the second reason eggs pricing is so high is between the avian flu, but a lot of people are saying it's also about grocery stores. Now, I'm going to tell you, it doesn't surprise me what I heard through Higgins' large TV tonight, where they were talking about, egg shortages. And then they went on to say that when they came out and said, besides the flu, grocery stores aren't paying bird farmers enough for their eggs, or egg farmers. So if egg farmers are being shafted, what's next on the broad spectrum for grocery prices? Inflation? Inflation, went up, Now, I'd like to share a story with you guys. Higgins and I were talking about president and the Congress and the Senate, and he's like, well, President Old Man Magoo doesn't know what he's doing. True. I mean, he's got to be senile if he's losing 5 cases of papers. I mean, 5 stacks of documents throughout around his house. And yet, Higgins said, oh, aren't you, it doesn't affect you? You don't care? I care what happens to the United States. I do. But I'm one person. What do you do as one person? Do you sit there and be like, oh, yeah, it doesn't affect me? Yeah, look, let me tell you how I see it, okay? For the most part. Now, let me tell you guys a story about prepping and about what affects me, okay? Chloe goes out to the food bank once a week. They always provide milk, eggs, cheese. They're doubling everything right now. So we're going to use it up. I'll make some hard-boiled eggs and everything. But with my heart disability, do you really think Chloe's going to sit there and be like, oh, look, Rita, we're going to eat eggs this morning? No, she's going to be like, you may have 1 egg a month for your ramen. You can have 2 hard-boiled eggs in your salad. And I say, why? Is it because of the price? She says, no, because of your heart. And yet, when you look at things and you look at a bigger picture, you got to ask yourself, what is the most important thing in life, right? You're like, oh, we got to worry about high inflation, electricity, and energy. And Chloe pays half the electric bill. I don't worry. Chloe also does her part with the, sometimes when it comes to the part of her internet bill and other little trinkets and odds and ends. The point is, Chloe knows when to step in when she has to. The problem is when you look at your food consumption, right? I eat 1 meal a day, maybe 2. Do you look at eggs as something you consume? No. Chloe uses eggs as a cooking ingredient for cakes and pies and sometimes bread. She doesn't use anything else for it. I could sit there and be like, I'm going to make 6 eggs for omelet or a 6-egg scrambled eggs. She'll be like, no, your heart. You see? Then I sit there and say, how about a couple pounds of bacon? She's like, bacon's expensive. A lot of these fatty foods are expensive. Now, if someone takes bacon and makes a ham and bean soup or a bean and bacon soup, yeah, I can make bean and bacon really quick and simple. All I need is a pound of bacon or 2 pounds of bacon. I can make up a bean and bacon soup for 6 or 7 days. Chloe would probably be tired of bean and bacon. She'd be like, man, Rita, I'm so gassy. But this is what preppers do. They look at alternatives. You don't sit there in the mornings in a prepping situation where an SHTF happens and then you're standing around going, oh, I need my 10 dozen eggs per month and my 30 pounds of bacon. You leave it all alone and you only use it as a sparingly ingredient for your meals. And that is how, sorry. And also, Chloe knows not to poke the polar bear. and annoy the polar bear. Polar bear will devour, swipe, or yeah. So let's continue with this lesson. It ain't about polar bears, you know. Since Chloe's only one single snake or wolf, polar bear would win. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about what to do in a prepping situation. You got to look at your food. Now, Chloe and I got a meat plan already put together. We're not going to tell you it all, but Chloe's excited to be part of this channel. And I don't want any negative comments with the dishes, okay? Chloe's going to get everything done tomorrow. She's staying in. She's going to go through this top to bottom tomorrow. I'm going to do spreadsheets. She's going to clean. And if I'm online while she's doing it, she's going to work from the bathroom to the bedrooms to the hallway to the kitchen. You're going to see it nicely cleaned. No problem. All right, now let's get down to the next part of this prepping video. So, we got a plan in motion, and I want to talk to you guys about pricing, okay? You want to make sure that you invest your money properly. A lot of people have been emailing me, oh, Rita, is there going to be fruit stamps in Washington for February? More likely, yes. Or more likely, no, give or take on the...
I think there might be some February, but not in March.
With the debt ceiling not raised, we don't know how much they have allocated for food stamps. So there you go. There's the big thing. Could be cut off for everyone next month. I mean, we got till early June possibly to get our house in order, okay? There's two problems coming down the pipe. Two. All right, not one, not two, not three, not four. Two. Oh, sorry, not one, not three, and not four. Two. Banking collapse and World War III, which could come to nuclear. Now, let's pray nuclear doesn't happen, but point is, you got to get your house in order. You can't be fucking laying around because, as I said time and time again, you're vulnerable when you have no food. You're vulnerable when you have no... You're vulnerable without any grub. You're vulnerable without any water. You need to keep prepping. Now, Chloe was basically bitching to me earlier about comments. You know, a couple comments came in about pocket pool prepping. Do I look like a fucking pocket pool prepper? I've made phone calls all day today. I've been doing emails all day. I've been juggling everything from prepping news to world news to national news to listening to Chloe. Chloe's been good today, so I can't complain. My thing is look at what's going on. Pocket pool, time to turn off the Atari. How many fucking times do I tell Peckerwoods I don't fucking play Atari? Atari is outdated. The Atari Intellivision, the Atari 2652 7800, the collector's edition, the Atari Jaguar, the Atari Jaguar CD, the Atari Jaguar, Atari Lynx, the Lynx 2. They are all fucking outdated. Yeah.
That's like 80s. Most of
early 90s for the Jaguar. But point is, I am not. Then the other rude comment was, Mama Fanny's going to get the wooden spoon out on you to hayseed. Sorry, Mama Fanny and I have an understanding. I'm not going to allow you to know what's going on with Mama Fanny, but Higgins and I both talked about Mama Fanny today, and even Chloe has compassion for Mama Fanny and is concerned for her well-being. So that's all I can tell you. I can't say anything more until Mama Fanny surfaces. All right. In the meantime, Mama Fanny, wherever she is, she wants me to get you guys and give you a swift kick in the seat of your butts with my boot, even if it's going to be an iron boot, even if it's an iron boot with a swastika. Got to throw that in there, the old Patton thing with the cartoon. And I'm going to kick you all in the ass and tell you to keep on prepping because that's the only thing you can do. What did I do today? Well, let's see. Let's talk about pricing. I had to argue with a lady that wanted $170 per person, me and Chloe. That's $170. That's $340 for glasses. And some of you people say, oh, just pay it. No, nonka. Why? I think it's America's Best, for example, right? America's Best, Burlington. Let's just go to their website. Let's see if the America's Best has it, right? Offers. Let's look. $140 or $170 per person, $340 for two. Eyeglasses, contacts, and eye things. Two pairs of glasses for $79.99 plus your eye exam is free. Free. What's that tell you? You can either go to America's Best or you can pay some shithole doctor more money for, So, first of all, oh, great. Coca-Cola, huh, Higgs? I want a Coca-Cola. Oh, yeah. Civil War is next, yeah. The supermarket's not paying the farmer. Thank you, Higgins. I'll watch that. Yeah, so Higgins and I are talking about. So let's talk about that, okay? So you got people trying to rip you off. Medicare, Medicaid, whatever. Thing is, you got to think. Let me tell you some big prepping news coming out, okay? When it comes to prepping, you got to look at your finances. You got to sit there and hold it tight. Emergency funds, emergency funds, emergency funds. Problem is, as a prepper, you got to ask yourself, how much are you willing to stretch? Once you figure out your budget, and once you figure out 1 pound of hamburger, 30 pounds of hamburger, 60 pounds of hamburger, you can get 60 pounds of hamburger in a month. What happens, right? Might be fatty hamburger, but you know what? At least you get some hamburger helper to go with it. That's why I keep telling Chloe just to quit buying her damn food out on the island because they're charging $12, $15, $20 a pound. You can buy a little fatty hamburger and a chub 10 pounds for, what is it, 19 to 28 nationwide price. I do it. Why? Because it's mandatory. But thing is, you got to start stretching your fucking money. You can't just sit there and throw it away. 2 for 12 or whatever when they say 2 for 6 and they double it. You got to be careful. Read your receipts. You're going into a prepping situation where you're going to want long-term food storage. You're going to want long-term water storage. And you're going to want everything you can to survive. Because once the shit hits the fan, Chloe, I'll tell you what impressed me the other day about Chloe. Okay, Chloe can be an asshole. Chloe can be a bitch. Chloe can be a dipshit. So the other day, Chloe sat there and she says, Rita, are we going to watch some more documentaries on the Great Depression? And she's like taking notes. I'm like, what are you doing taking notes? Why? I want to know what's going on with the Great Depression. Yeah, when she uses those words, there's no triggers, but let's just talk serious here. She's putting together 2 plus 2 equals 4, and it ain't going to be fucking pretty. I had a lady the other day email me like, Raina, bread's getting so high. What do you recommend? Well, if you're not a tight-wadded son of a bitch, buy yourself a bread maker. Chloe and I already agreed. One gets the shopping cart, the other gets the bread maker. Mm-hmm. Bread's going to be $3.50. Soon you're not going to be able to do it. And on top of that, all you need is some flour, a book, some yeast, and a few other ingredients. You make fucking bread every day and it'll be cheaper.
Flour what? Flour, yeast, and what?
Sometimes eggs is what I hear. But guess what? I'll tell you a secret. Flour. There's 2 types of flour you use. You can use regular flour for bread if you're real poor. Food bank keeps loading everything else up. Or you can buy bread flour. It's a little more finer, refined, but thing is you have to ask
mix
yourself.
Milk with the flour and yeast, so you can make biscuits.
You see? And then all she's got to learn is how to fucking make gravy.
She can fucking make some of this stuff in a junior high home ec.
Well, did they teach you how to make gravy?
That was high school.
Did they teach you how to make gravy? Do you remember the ingredients? I'm gonna have to get her cookbook how to learn to make gravy because gravy is so simple. A little bouillon cube, what a little sausage or hamburger you can put. Let me tell you a little secret about. Yeah, I got daggers pointing out. Let me tell you a secret about gravy. All right, my mother used to turn around, right, and I'm gonna tell you my mom's secret. Okay, as a prepper, she was a prepper too. My mom would turn around. She'd look at me, right? She'd be telling me that Chloe's too high maintenance, right? That'd be her. Chloe's too high maintenance, Rita, just to be funny, right? But you know what? My mom would turn around and basically take the rolling pin to Chloe's noggin and be like, and then say, "Look, I'm going to show you how to make gravy," right? My mother learned a trick that was taught by people in our family that was in the military. And let me tell you that military trick is you can go and get, say, an additional 20 pounds of hamburger per month. And then what do? I love this. You guys are going to love this. Turn around, and what do? You turn around and you buy hamburger. And you get the ingredients, you can make hamburger gravy. Chloe's sitting there going, what? Yeah. You substitute that instead of sausage gravy. The Army did it all the time, the military. And that stretched out your hamburger. You can put hamburger gravy over mashed potatoes, hamburger gravy over bread, hamburger gravy over biscuits. Hamburger gravy is a staple in my family. And when you get the extra hamburger chubs,
look what they're eating in the beginning of Dead Man's Walk when they're eating breakfast, right? Biscuits and some gravy.
they also are eating turtle too.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you keep a smelly old turtle head not like that?
We should be asking, why would a squall chew up your privates?
The more important thing is you should ask is why a squall would chew off your privates. Hey, Chloe, where's the dog? Moppy? We ate him. He made a fine soup.
Hey, where's the hopping pepper?
Hello, Bum Bum.
Yeah, Aiden. You made a fine hopping pepper soup.
Hopping pepper is rabbit stew. But no, point I'm making for all you preppers out there is hamburger gravy could substitute regular pig. You get enough hamburger, you can live on hamburger. You can literally keep stockpiling. I'll tell you what me and Chloe's going to do. We've already bought the materials, okay? It's coming in the next 10 days, 12 days. We got Chloe's like, I could have got it at Walmart. Buy a second one at Walmart when you're there. And just tote it home. As long as you keep it dry, it should be fine in the cooler. We're buying a whatchamacallit. A scale again. Chloe's like, oh, we need another one. Buy a second one. One man's Chloe's gonna be manning it, right? You buy enough Ziploc bags, double bag it. You can put 1 pound ground chunks in it. We'll scale it, weigh it, put it in the Ziploc bag, throw it in the freezer. Throw it in that freezer. You're gonna have to basically start to utilize hamburgers. You're gonna take 1 pound of hamburger. You're gonna make it for meats. You're gonna get 2 burgers, and not even think about having cheese on it, because unless you have sliced cheese on sale, you basically eat a hamburger. And then on top of your substitutes, you can actually use French fries or a little device I was telling Chloe tonight. She's like, oh my God, really? My mom had a little device, right? She'd cut up potatoes certain ways, right? Whole potato. She'd make her own version of French fries with skins on it. All you have to do is deep fry it or air fry it. Done. What's that tell you, people? You can take potatoes and another thing.
I had homemade fries for you, really good.
Well, there you go. See, little encouragement. The next step is this. While you sit there and you're all worried about your foods, right? First, before you get into your canned goods, your packaged goods, it's always like, ooh, nasty. You live on your fresh stuff. You go to the store, okay, say every month you start doing a routine, right? Meal planning and stuff. And then all of a sudden, you're getting used to things, right? Chloe sits there and says, "Oh, I'm gonna make for breakfast this morning." So you find hams on sale, and you get some ham, and you slice a slice of ham up, and you slice the ham up the rest, and you make ham, and you fry up a piece of ham. You skip the eggs, if you have ham, and what do you do with it? Sometimes you dice the ham, sometimes you slice it up as a ham steak. But I'll tell you, the best meal is fried potatoes and onions. Yeah. So in case of a pandemic, you can live on fried potatoes and onions. There's no crying shame in it. But there's a lot of people out there that say fried potatoes and onions is not good. So before I go and complain and gripe and stuff, that's one of the meals you can do. You look at your thing. Okay, I've tried to teach Chloe time and time again. Buy a bag of onions, a bag of potatoes, not the stuff from pick the potatoes out. You buy the actual bags, 5 pound, 10 pound. Start making French fries out of them. Start making fried potatoes and onions. Buy yourself a bag of onions. They sell them, and then start using it. Eventually, your meals will be fried potatoes and onions for breakfast, and other things. You can make French fries with your hamburgers. I mean, you don't have to just live on steaks and T-bones. This is something that a lot of people need to realize in this lesson is look at your pricing. You have to make your money last. So to do that, you have to look at other options. Now, Higgins is saying, "Oh, you need to look into doing batteries, doing reviews on batteries." Well, there's disposable batteries, there's rechargeable batteries, and so forth and so on. So my point being is, there you go. So in the meantime, think about it. I gotta go. School's out. Please add, subscribe. Please post comments, leave feedback, suggestion at the subscribe button. So it's fun for your family, including your dogs, cats, bunnies, service dogs, service bunnies. Hit the bell notification. Hit the thumbs up button, subscribe button. It's also fun for your family, including your dogs, cats, bunnies, service dogs, service bunnies. Thanks for watching. Leave the comments nice, and I'll see you tomorrow.